y'all, it's Amber from Heartfully Stitched. I'll be sharing the gauge swatch tutorial for the Becca top to help ensure that your finished top fits beautifully and correctly. You can click the link in the description to download the full crochet pattern written in sizes extra small through 5X. For this tutorial, you will need a 4mm crochet hook, any number 3 DK weight yarn, a measuring tape, and blocking materials. For row 1, we will begin with a chain of 26. Once you've completed your chains, we will make a half shell into the second chain from hook. A half shell is a double crochet, a chain 1, and a double crochet into the same chain. Chain 2 and skip the next 3 chains. Single crochet into the next chain. Chain 2, skip the next 3 chains, and make a shell into the next chain. To make the shell, double crochet and chain 1. Double crochet into the same chain. Chain 1 and double crochet into the same chain. You should have 3 double crochets and 2 chains for the shell. We will repeat the stitch pattern of chaining 2, skip the next 3 chains, and single crochet into the next chain. Chain 2, skip the next 3 chains, and make a shell into the next chain. Ending the row with chain 2, skip 3 chains, and half shell into the last chain. You should have 2 half shells, 6 chain 2s, 3 single crochets, and 2 shells. For row 2, we will turn our work and chain 1. Single crochet into the same stitch. Single crochet into the next chain 1 space. Chain 3 and skip the next chain 2. We will make a cluster stitch into the top of the single crochet by yarning over and inserting your hook into the same stitch. Pull up a loop and yarn over. Insert your hook into the same stitch. Pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all loops. Chain 3 and skip the next chain 2 in the first double crochet of the shell. Single crochet into the first chain 1 space. Chain 1, skip the next double crochet, and single crochet into the chain 1 space. We will repeat the stitch pattern of chaining 3 and skipping the next chain 2. Cluster on top of the single crochet and chain 3. Skip the next chain 2 in the first double crochet of the shell. Single crochet into the chain 1 space. Chain 1, skip the next double crochet, and single crochet into the chain 1 space. Ending a row with the chain 3, skip the next chain 2 and double crochet. Single crochet into the chain 1 space, and single crochet into the last stitch. You should have 8 single crochets, 6 chain 3s, and 3 cluster stitches. For row 3, we will turn our work and chain 1. Make a half shell into the same stitch. Chain 2 and skip the next chain 3. Single crochet into the top of the cluster stitch. Chain 2 and skip the next chain 3 and next single crochet. Shell into the chain 1 space. We will repeat the stitch pattern of making a chain 2, skip the next chain 3, and single crochet into the top of the cluster stitch. Chain 2, skip the next chain 3 and the next single crochet, and shell into the next chain 1 space. Ending a row with the chain 2, skip the next chain 3 and the next double crochet, and half shell into the last stitch. You should have 2 half shells, 6 chain 2s, 3 single crochets, and 2 shells for this row. For row 4, we will repeat rows 2 and 3 4 more times. After blocking, measure your swatch. You should have 3 cluster stitches and 2 shells by 11 rows in pattern for 4 inches. I hope you found this gauge swatch tutorial for the Becca top helpful. If you would like more gauge tutorials, be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a new tutorial, and follow me on Instagram at Heartfully Stitched to see upcoming crochet pattern releases, crochet tester calls, and more.